Hi everybody, and again we are here study from the Zohar, and we're going to take as many pieces as we can from the Zohar about this week portion called Emor. Now the story of Emor is in the beginning mostly talk about the Kohanim, then it's talk about all the holidays, and then it turned into the curse of the Ben Ish Mitzri, the son of the intercourse that happened between a Jewish slave in Egypt to an Egyptian soldier, and the result is the son that eventually tried to create damage. So if we talk about the story, that's a basic story, but as you know, lately I would like to relate more to the Zohar aspect of the portion, and fully to understand. But before we go there, we need to know that if we look at the portion of Emor, Kohen, it starts with the Kohanim. What is Kohen? I mean, today, Kohen, the only thing that Kohen got is the first Aliyah. He go to the Torah first, and that's the respect he get. And when you have Berkat HaKohanim for Sfaradim only, Sfaradim do Berkat HaKohanim on Shachrit of Shabbat, on Musaf, they do the Berkat HaKohanim, where Ashkenazi choose not to do it. They will do it on Yom Kippur or in Moadim like Pesach, but they will not do it every Shabbat like Sfaradim do. Sfaradim will do Slichot from the beginning of Elul, Ashkenazim do 1 week before that. It's a style, and nothing is bad and nothing is good. You adapted the style according to your father, rabbi, or whatever you think that worked for you to become a better person. That's really what it's all about. And when we talk about Emor, talk about Kohanim. So the Kohanim of today, there is no temple in Jerusalem. There is no, I mean, there is, but we cannot see it. It's nistar, it's unrevealed to our eyes, and more we use the five senses to look for the temple, more stupid we look like, because the temple appear in a non-physical way, and for that reason we have to find a non-physical tool to reveal that. And the non-physical tool cannot be the five senses. Very simple. For that reason, when you go to Har HaTzofim, the Mount of Olives, and you look at the place where the temple used to be, and you tear your shirt. I mean, it's a nice tradition, tear your shirt, but it would be better to look at that place, as Rabban might say, and tear your heart for not behaving well and in a proper way, and that's why the temple is not there. Tearing the shirt, I mean, just going to cost you another 300 shekel shirt, and then you're going back and eat falafel and shawarma like nothing happened before. So the tear the shirt is a little bit of ego to show that I'm in that level, that I can tear the shirt up. But if you want to do it again, tradition, if it's work for you, keep doing it. I want to go back to the Kohanim. So what does a Kohen represent? What is exactly a Kohen? When we understand a little bit Kabbalah, we know that there is what we call the three-column system, something that happened after the Tzimtzum. I'm not going to go to the all details exactly what happened there, but I try to think about three-column system, and everything in our universe built from the three-column. One column is the Kohen. Kohen is the one who's supposed to be more chesed, more kindness, more giving. That's why Kohanim usually are people of chesed. They like to give tzedakot, they like to give charity. They're good people. The core of a Kohen is a good. There is no Kohen who's bad. Within the heart, they don't like to give. They either work in a synagogue as cleaning it, or taking care of it, or building mikvaot, or donating a lot of money to make different things in the world. That's a Kohanim. The Levis are the receiving or the taking care of the Kohanim. They have to be more harsh, more strong, For that reason, they were taking care of the work in the temple. And then you have the Israel, the majority of the Israelite, they're the Israel. So those three type of people exist in the Israelite are representing energy that's coming down. So the Kohen represents the whole energy of chesed, of giving. Now, why we not talk about energy of receiving? It's quite important. I mean, if you look at most people's life, I mean, what we do is we are busy receiving. We're not busy giving. I mean, if a person only talk about what he did, is also to make himself famous, so he can receive something. He receive money for it, or he receive fame for it, something. But people don't talk about giving as giving. You cannot just talk about giving as giving, because giving as giving get you nothing. Why would you talk about it? So that's the real thing that changed in our universe, that our universe right now operate under the supervision of the evil side of us, of the selfish side of us. Everybody is selfish. Everybody thinking if they will move from one apartment to another, they're thinking, how can I be more comfortable? How can I have more room? How can I have more respect? It's always about the more for me. The way we operate is what can I get for myself. So that type of operation, it's considered operation of illusion, operation of fake. It's not how the Creator, God, created this world. The Creator created this world for us to receive because the Creator give. But what happened as a result, we turn into receiving because we want to receive. And slowly we disconnect ourselves from God. We don't think as God is the supply of everything I want and wish. If we do know that, we knock on God's door only for the reason to receive what I want. But it's not to knock on God's door to know God better. So it's the same, is it mine? So when we think about it, we think about like the energy of the Kohen is a side of us that has to be in the giving all the time without expecting some respect for my giving or some respect for my achievement or some respect for whatever it is. That's a Kohen. So when this portion is coming specifically before Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai night, which is going to happen Thursday, we need to understand that nothing is a coincidence. So always the portion that happened in the week of Ilulah of a tzaddik, specifically the tzaddik of all tzaddikim, the king of all rabbis, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we need to understand that there is a message for us. And the message for us is, how can I act like a real Kohen, not somebody's name is a Kohen, okay, or somebody who go up to the Torah first, which is nice too, and we should respect them from our point of view. But I'm talking about like me, you, we are Mamlechet Kohanim. That's what's written. We're supposed to be Vayitim li Mamlechet Kohanim. We're supposed to be all act like a Kohen. What is a Kohen? What is a Kohen supposed to be doing? The Kohen has to be able to cancel the need for themselves. So let's say you move from Kentucky to Chicago. Why are you moving to Chicago? Well, there is a better chance there for me to study more spirituality, and there is a better chance there that people will not recognize me. Okay, now you have a good reason to move. Go ahead and do it. It will be successful. But if you move to a place because you want to receive more fame, more money, more recognition, more this and that, and it's not for the sake of making the Torah famous, it's for the sake of only making yourself famous, and there is no goal to make the Torah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai famous, and you have to think twice. But if you are wanting to make the Zohar famous, the Torah famous, then go ahead. Have some chutzpah, chatzifut kedusha. Why not? So there's this story, I would like to mention it, then we jump into the Zohar right away. A story I heard today, actually, from a rabbi from Jerusalem, wonderful human being. And the story is about the Maharsha. Maharsha is a commentary on the Talmud. And I don't know how many of you know one of the Midrashim, one of the story about the Maharsha. He lived about 400 something years ago. If I'm not mistaken, either it's the student or the son of the Maharal of Prague. You know, the Maharal of Prague is the person who built the Golem. And and I'm sorry I don't remember all the details. It's not your fault, it's my fault. You should check it on your own. Maharsha, that's his name. You can Google it. And what it say about him, that he used to keep his hair long and work as a person who sells vegetables. And of course, if you see somebody with the long hair in the old days, 400 years ago, coming to the shul, in those days, no rabbi have a long hair. I mean, a rock star, yes, they did, if they have rock then, but long hair, selling vegetables, how much respect this guy can get? Now, he was, if you look in history, he was the best commentary. I shouldn't say best, there's no competition, but one of the top commentary on the Talmud. So somebody like that should be absolutely respected. I'm not saying somebody who just says something new in the Talmud. Somebody says new thing about every section in the Talmud. If you think about it, this is an unbelievable person. Why long hair? Why selling cucumber and, I don't know, pepper and celery? The story go like that. And again, I'm not here to sign for that story. Happened, didn't happen, I just heard it. About the Gabbai. The Gabbai is is a person who's taking care of the synagogue in those days. Cleaning it, make sure it's okay, make sure if somebody owe money when they get aliyah to pay for the money. That's the job of the gabbai. But that gabbai, that synagogue, was tzaddik. It was one of the top righteous people. And he liked to do something that the Zohar said to do every night. And it's after midnight, you sit on the floor and you cry for the problem of Am Yisrael, you cry for the problem of everybody in the world, and you cry for the Galut HaShekhinah, and you cry also for the female aspect of God is not able to be with God in Bet HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. So when you do it every night, and then you read the little Zohar, or Tikkunei Zohar, it promised to you, the Zohar said, that Kut Shel Chesed Nimshach Alav, meaning a string of mercy, always will protect you and take care of you for the rest of that day, when you do that at night. Of course, don't do it only for that reason, because then you're doing something just for yourself again, and as I explained it before. So it said about the Marsha, about the Gabbai, that Gabbai is basically go to the shul, and he sit in the corner, and he opened the shul, he closed it behind him, and he sit on the floor, and he cry. He cry and cry. And then what he does, he read holy books like Tilim, like Tikkunei Zohar, and he go around the bima, 7 times like we do in Akafot of Simchat Torah, and then he go home. He does it every night, years. That one night, and you need to know, at that time the Marsha was nobody. Nobody even know who he was. He was the guy who sold vegetables, and he's weird. He always sit in the corner in the shul. He wear weird clothes, and maybe white on Shabbat and long hair. So it look off, it look off a little bit. Cuckoo, something is off with him. But nobody talked to him. So this guy is falling asleep all of a sudden. Before he tried to do Tikkun Chatzot, he cannot hold himself. He fall asleep. Somebody touches his shoulders. He wake up, the gabbai, and I see a person. And that person sees him with a big smile, and he asks him, "Can you show me the direction to the tzaddik, the rabbi, the marsha?" He says, "Excuse me, we don't have rabbi by the name of marsha here." He said, "No, the rabbi marsha. We came here to see him." He said, "What are you talking about? We don't have rabbi." He said, "Eliezer, Rabbi Eliezer." He said, "We have Eliezer. You don't talk about the guy who sells vegetables that they have a long hair." He said, "Yes, where he live?" I said, "Why you call him rabbi?" He said, "Doesn't matter, I need to see him urgently." So I show him. He said, "Well, this house to the left, that's where he is." Go. So he go home. He come back the next night. Again, try to study, start to sit on the floor. Again, falling asleep. Again, knock on the shoulders. Another guy look a little bit more tough. Look at him. He has gingy, red hair, beautiful eyes. And I said, "Where is the marsha, the rabbi, the marsha?" I said, "What's going on here? There's no rabbi. I told your friend, you talk about Eliezer. He live here, and I don't know what's wrong with you guys." So okay. The third night, they do it again. He thought he's losing his mind, and he tried to study Zohar, Tikkunei Zohar, do the Akafot, do the Tilim, do everything. And again, he doesn't know what to do. He's falling asleep. So what he did, he put a chain on the door, so he was afraid that those people are weird. He said, "Nobody can come in now." So he's studying, he's very happy. And at that moment, he fall asleep for 2 minutes. He have a hand on his shoulders again. And he's wake up, he gets scared. He said, "How did you get in?" He said, "Relax." I said, "How did you get in?" He started screaming. The person said, "Okay, let me tell you. I'm Eliyahu Navi. I'm Elisha the prophet. The 2 people you saw before was Shaul and David, King Saul and King David." This story is emotional for me, I don't know why. So, before they die, they have machloket. Shaul and David didn't get along. And when you don't get along with someone and you go to heaven, you have to solve it. You have to solve it. And they didn't know how to solve it because in Bet Din Shel Mala, in the upper court, they couldn't solve that debate there between King Saul, they both king. And they both right, and they both not wrong. What do we do? So Eliyahu Navi look at that gabbai, the gabbai is shaking by now, he almost pee in his pants. He's afraid, he's talking to Eliyahu Navi, nobody meet Elijah the prophet. And he said to him, "Why everybody go to him? What's the story with this guy, Eliyahu?" He said to him, "Well, this guy is righteous, but he's not just righteous. He want to make sure nobody will respect him. So he does everything in his power everything in his power to not be respected. And in heaven, everybody go by him. And for that reason, King Saul and King David went to God about the debate they have. And God said, whatever this guy will decide, that's what okay with me up in heaven. And the guy is like, this guy with the long hair to sell vegetables, he's going to decide what's going to be in heaven? He said, yes. And I will have to tell you another thing, say Eliyahu Navi. You're the only one who know it right now. Who is? If you will reveal that, 1 hour after you reveal it to people, you will die. So you cannot reveal that secret because he want to keep it a secret. He want to continue to be humiliated. He want to continue to be who he is. That's how he achieve his level. The Gabbai doesn't know what to do. Can't sleep. Go at night. Usually his wife know. He go to Tikkun Chatzot, and then one he join her at bed. She look at him, he's staying awake, start walking in the room, he make noise. She waking up and say, honey, what's happening? Gabbai. He's crying, he's debating, say, I can't tell you, I just can't tell you. And he's going crazy, what to do? In one way, not to reveal it caused a lot of problem because in those days, I don't know if you know, the Jewish people in Europe suffer a lot. And it was a lot of pain. And sometimes when you disrespect one person, the whole people that come from that person have to suffer. Even if they don't deserve to suffer. Because if you have Chacham, doesn't have to be a rabbi, doesn't have to be tzaddik. If you have a wise person among you that doesn't get enough respect from the community, that community or the people around have to go to pain. That's the way it works. So he said, I don't know what to do. I mean, the all Jewish people in Europe suffer. There's people get killed, get raped. It's really, really a problem. I have to reveal that. And he think to himself that it's going to cost him his life. So he go to the rabbi of the town, and the rabbi respect the Gabbai, know the Gabbai is a tzaddik. And he say, I need you to be here together with 900 people to have minyan, and I need to make some confession in front of you. And the rabbi say, can it wait? He said, no, it's urgent. So okay, he respect the Gabbai, he said everybody's out. He left the 9 Talmidei Chachamim with him, and he said, please speak. He said, well, last night I have Eliyahu Navi, Galut. He came to me, and he told me about the person who sells the vegetables with the long hair. And the rabbi said, the Michigan, the guy that nobody care about? I said, yes. What about him? He said, they call him the Maharsha. In heaven, they call him the Maharsha. I said, what Maharsha? He said, they say that he's the tzaddik. He's the one that, he finished saying it, he died. He died on the floor. And we know by the halakha, by the Jewish law, if somebody dies in front of you, you have to tear the shirt. Everybody has to tear the shirt, even if they're not relative. Because it's the scariest thing to see, somebody die in front of you. You have to tear the shirt immediately. Tear the shirt is a sign of mourning. So they bury him. After they bury him, they go where? They go to the vegetables guy with the long hair. So the vegetables guy usually, they knock on the door, they ask for vegetables, they ask for things, they ask for different things that they sell. And he see the rabbi, and he see 10 people with him. Say, hi guys, what can I help you with? And just to let you know, the Maharsha, I don't know if you know, he used to have a long hair and he used to touch it to a rope that attached to the ceiling. So when he fall asleep, when he study, it will remind him to wake up. Similar to what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai used to do in the cave with the clock made of sand, a sand clock. It is, but the sand clock of Rabbi Shimon was open. So when it finished the sand fall on his face and wake him up. That's how Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai used to wake himself to study Torah. So say, I need to talk to you. So please, welcome. So the rabbi go alone to the house. He said, can I walk around the house? So he walk around, there's nothing special. Then he see the table. He look at the table, and he sees about 1,000 pages of explanation of every little section in the Talmud, like things that nobody even dream about. He said, what is that? He said, well, I copied from somebody else. He said, the rabbi is a very big tzaddik. He said, I know everybody else. There is nobody who wrote that. And of course, the Maharsha didn't want to be revealed. And at that time, the rabbi, I have no idea why I'm crying. I'm not even close to the dust that he walk on his shoes, but maybe I'm crying because I'm that far away from that kind of level. So, and I'm sorry I'm crying. I'm not supposed to be crying. I'm supposed to be more professional here. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry about it. So, so what happened? The rabbi first take the hand of the Maharsha and ask him for forgiveness for every humiliation, for everything. And he said, but I want it this way. That's the way I want it. I want it to be nobody. Please, let me continue. He said, no, you can't. He said, the people suffer because everybody who hurt you, the angel disagree with that. Nobody can hurt you. Not allowed to be humiliated. It's not about you. Nobody allowed to even think bad things about you. And when you go like that, people judge you. And when they judge you, it can be dangerous for us. Yes, you're right. You want to be humble. But we need you. And he said, what do you want from me? The Maharsha asked him. I said, I want you to become the head of all Europe. You will be the head of all the rabbis in Europe. You will be the tzaddik of the general. You will be everything. And I would like to step down and you take the key. And when I read this story, again, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know. When I read the story, it's all the direction of life has to change. The direction of life is not how I get what I want and that's why I'm happy. The direction of life should be, how can I stop getting what I want and be happy? That's the direction of life. And unfortunately, neither me and other people I know are not living our life like that. We're not living enough our life like that. We're not living enough our life like that, that when we don't get what we want, that's the happy moment. And the generation is not contributing to that type of thinking, not because the generation is bad, it's the way we are, the way we operate. We not operate like Mamlechet Kohanim. We not operate like a place where we are thinking, how can I not receive the respect that I think I deserve? How can I not receive the thing which is supposed to be mine? And of course, we're not even close to the Maharsha. I mean, I was in his kever. I had the merit to be in his grave. And again, when you think about the Maharsha, and I'm bringing him as a story about somebody who sacrificed his body and his kavod and his pride for the sake of truly working on himself. And because of that, the Torah will be revealed by him. And the reason the Torah revealed by somebody who's going through pain and suffering, whenever you see somebody who's wise in the Torah, either he's suffering this lifetime or either he suffered last lifetime. There is no such a thing. אין התורה מתקיימת, אלא על מי שממית את עצמו עליה. The Torah cannot be revealed until a person die, or kill his ego, or kill his something, that he bury it. And because of that, it's of course revealed. And I would like to start with this story, as it relates to the Mamlechet Kohanim, as it relates to the whole idea of becoming like a Kohen, because I think the reason we have doubts, the reason we go wrong about life a lot of time is not because we are bad people. It's only because we have bad choices. And the bad choices has to be from a place of, I'm choosing how I can get. I'm not choosing how can I not get. Yes, giving is another thing, but within giving there is receiving. There's danger. Because when you give, you have ego. Only if you give, let's say, a certain amount that hurt you. So, for example, somebody, let's say, have $5 million, so 10% will be 500,000, or 20 will be 1 million, which in the old days, the Kabbalists used to give 20% as, those of you know, Kedoch Babina, Zerapin Malchut is 20%. Not going to details, but can you imagine to give half of it or 51% of it? You have $5 million, you're going to give $2.6 million to donation. Difficult. You have $500 in your pocket, you're going to give $260. It's tough because it's more than 50%. But this is the test. This is basically the test of every human being. Are you willing to go out of your way? More than 50%, of course, it's out of your way. More than 50% of respect is out of the way. And the Marsha became the Marsha because he was willing to be nobody. And that story is very important now, is related to Parashat Emor. Why? Because I'm taking out the Gemara in Masechet Brachot, Amud Lamed Aleph. It says, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan is speaking in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. I think the Rabbi Yochanan you talk about here, I think it's Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, but I'm not sure, so I prefer not to say who it is, because there is Rabbi Yochanan Amora and there is Rabbi Yochanan Tana. So could be Tana, could be Amora. We're not here to get a claim, but we know for sure Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai said those words. Asur la'adam, it's not permitted for a human being, שימלא שחוק פיו בעולם הזה, that is supposed to be absolutely happy in this physical world. I thought it's all about being happy. How do we know that? He take it from Tehillim, from the book of Psalm by King David, chapter 127, verse 2. אז ימלא שחוק פינו ולשוננו לרעידה. Then, when the temple will be built, we can be absolutely happy. Okay? And why is that such a big deal? And then I'll continue the pasuk of the Masechet Brachot. אין עומדים להתפלל לא מתוך עצבות. You cannot pray from sadness. ולא מתוך עצלות. You cannot pray from laziness. ולא מתוך שחוק. And you cannot pray from laughter like a clown. ולא מתוך שיחה, and you cannot pray because of conversation. ולא מתוך קלות ראש, and you cannot pray, קלות ראש meaning like you take it lightly. ולא מתוך דברים בטלים, and you cannot pray from just saying nonsense. ולא מתוך, אלא מתוך שמחה של מצווה. The only way you're allowed to pray is to be happy that you're doing the mitzvah of praying. וכן, in the same thing, I'm reading the Talmud, וכן לא ייפטר אדם בחברו, and a person should not say bye-bye to his friend, לא מתוך שיחה ולא מתוך שחוק. When you say goodbye to your friend, you cannot say goodbye just by talking, or by telling a joke, or by telling nonsense, or talking about nothing. You have to say halacha when you tell them to go. You have to give one halacha when you say goodbye to a person. Can you imagine? That's the way we're supposed to live our life. So Torah has to be, when you say goodbye, somebody come to your house, you have the most expensive dinner ever. I don't know, sushi from the chef of Japan who decided to become kosher, okay? Or steak from, I don't know, a cow from almost para aduma, right? And you have like the most expensive food, $10,000 dinner, right? In the end of the dinner, when they leave your house, say, wait a minute. I want to teach you one halacha that I learned. That's how you should say goodbye. Why is Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai is so busy with it? Why is so busy with having, instead of excitement, having excitement with some border to it? Because excitement without board that you put around it make you think that you are a big shot. And when you think you are a big shot, then the ego get in. And Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai tried to remind you, be careful. The purpose is to connect to the Creator, is not to be celebrating on every moment. You want to celebrate? Check if what you celebrate is part of the mitzvot or not. No. In Parashat Emor, I wanted to tell you how many mitzvot we just have here. I tell you, 24 mitzvot taseh, 39 mitzvot lo taseh. So when you read Emor, you should be very happy knowing what mitzvot you have. What is this has to do with Mamlechet Kohanim, with Kohen? So I'm now jumping into the Zohar. All right. And I'm going to start from the section in Zohar Sulam by Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag. And I'm going to start actually from the end. Shin Lamedei, Shla. So it's written in Shin Lamedei, 335, in Zohar Emor. What happened to us that we fell so far away from being Mamlechet Kohanim, of being like exciting about sharing and be scared of receiving. What happened to us? How did we feel that far away from the original part of how God wanted to create this world? What happened? Natu miderech haemunah. Who is Natu? So for that, I have to take you to 334. So I'm changing here to 334, so not 335. ותרא אישה כי טוב העץ למאכל. When the woman saw the tree of knowledge which is good to eat, תאווה, there is so much lust in the tree, בורא. הרי בני אדם אינם יודעים ואינם מסתכלים ואינם משגיחים. Human being in our generation don't look, don't see, don't have an idea what's going on. All right? And I'm not worried about the one who's not spiritual at all. Those have hope. I'm worried about the people who are either religious or they call themselves spiritual. That's the one who concerns me the most. I'm never worried about people who like to party and all this, because they have more hope. They remember every song that you can imagine on YouTube. There is some people who remember every song, where it is, what year it was released. Those people have enough brain to remember every section in the Zohar. They just don't use it. But those are the people who are going to change the world. I love those people, and I wish that I have enough playboy on the guy side. I don't know what you call the girl playboy. I don't know what they call, but wild people who remember every song, every baseball player, every football player, because those are the people that, as what we call malchut of malchut, I cannot go into it, that they can bring komash lema, the old koma. We need them. We need them. And hopefully, when I'm going to be in New York, give a few lectures there. We're going to gather as many people from there as we can. Okay? אינם יודעים ואינם מסתכלים ואינם משגיחים בשעה שברגע שברכות הרב וכיבד אותו ביקר עליון. בקרש ממנו שידבר כל כשמצא יחיד ולוי יחיד במקום דבקות יחידה לא ישתנה, will translate in a second, ולא יתאפק לעולם קשר הזה של האמונה היחידה ושהכל מתקשר בזה שבר ועץ החיים בתוך הגן. When God created the human being, the goal of a human being was to connect only to one tree. It's called tree of life, but not just yet. Tree of life. That was the goal. What is the tree of life? Zeir Anpin. We call it tree of life. And tree of life doesn't have good and bad. But then, נטו מדרך האמונה, both of them left that tree, which is tree of life, and they come and connect to the tree of knowledge, good and bad. Tree of life has no good and bad, they have only good. Tree of knowledge have good and bad. If you've been in Vegas, people don't just like to win, they want to lose too. They need the bad to feel the good. You need salty to feel the sweet. Everything in our universe is relative to what we feel in the moment. You don't want to feel good all the time. People tell you, I want to feel good all the time. They lie. We are already in the universe that feeling good all the time will make you bored. You want action, you want drama, you want to fight. It's a weird universe we're living in right now, unfortunately. There's the ups and downs. If you only live a perfect life, you're going to ski, and you ski like the number one ski guy in the world or the girl in the world. You swim like number one guy in the Olympic. You have ability beyond your imagination. You're going to be bored. You're going to be upset. You're going to be depressed. Why? Because we live in the world of drama. You got to go down to go up. You got to go up, you got to go down. That's the universe, the way it operates. בעץ הדעת טוב ורע, וירדו מלמעלה למטה. ונזרקו למטה בשינויים, רבזו את העליון מכל אחד, שוב לא נשתנה לעולם, שרצה אלוקים את האדם ישר, והם בקשו חשבונות רבים, והם בקשו חשבונות רבים. היינו עץ הדת שיש בו הרבה שינויים כאן. So they couldn't handle the tree of life. That has no, it's only flat. Flat, good. Or you can have bad and good. אז נדפק ליבם באותו הצד ממש, היינו פעמים לטוב, פעמים לרע. So because they connect to something that's good and bad, the heart start to function like it's become like a flipper, good and bad as well. פעמים לרחמים, פעמים דין. Sometimes we have mercy, sometimes we have judgment. ודאי כדבר הוא שהם דוקו בו. Because they stick, they connect to the tree of knowledge, good and bad, they start to become good and bad. אמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא אדם, עזבת החיים, דבקת במוות. God said to Adam, you left life to connect to death. Because the tree of life is only life. And you're never going to die. Then death is what you're going to deal with. ומוצא אני ממר ממוות האישה, ודאי וקרוש ואדם בכוחים, שלא תגזר עליו וקרוב למוות. So for that reason, the whole world have to die after them, because the roots of the whole world come from Adam and Eve, which is death. But why us? ואם תאמר שכל הבריות באו ואכלו מהן, I didn't eat from that tree, said the Zohar in verse 337. אינו כן, בשעה שאדם לקם על רגליו, ראו אותו כל הבריות ויראו מפניו. והיינו משכים אחריו כעבדים לפני מלך, ואומרים להם, אני ואתה, בואו נשתחרר וכולם באו אחריו, כיוון שהאדם משתחרר לאותו מקום לעץ הדעת, נדבר בכולם, שרו אחריו. So it says that the whole soul will exist when Adam will exist, and when Adam started to bow, like idol worshiping, to the tree of knowledge, all of us bow together with him. And then the human change right away at that day. פעמים טוב, פעמים רע. We experience sometimes good, sometimes bad. פעמים רוגז, פעמים נחת. Sometimes we get angry, sometimes we so relax. פעמים דין, פעמים רחמים. Sometimes we have judgment in our life, sometimes we have mercy. פעמים חיים, פעמים מוות. Sometimes we are feeling like so alive, sometimes we're feeling death. And ואינו עומד תמיד במעמד אחד מהם. And nothing in life stayed the same way as it is. Never. That's life. Why? Because of the tree of knowledge. So this universe, as we see it, the physical universe as we see it, is the universe that has to do with the tree of knowledge, good and bad. Whatever we taste there, the good that you test, when you test the best part of your life, like the best minutes of your life, is a part of the good that come from where? From the tree of knowledge, good and bad. So that means when you test the good, you know bad is coming. But also when you test the bad, you know good is coming. It's never something without the other thing. So we call it the spinning sword because it keeps changing. Mercy to judgment, judgment to mercy, peace to war. And that's called tree of knowledge. And the king above, the creator, that have so much mercy, told them don't eat from that tree. And he couldn't listen to his wife or listen to the snake. And the woman or his wife caused him the death. So what do? They say in the last verse of Emor, בורא העולם הבא, the world to come, כי ימי העץ, ימי עמי כימי העץ, היינו עץ ההוא הנודע, או עץ החיים. בו בזמן כתוב בילה המוות לנצח. It say in the end of time, death will be swallowed into the ground, and God will remove all the tears from the face, and then everything going to be okay. What does that mean? And how does this connect to the Ilula that's coming this Thursday of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? So I'm taking now the Zohar in verse 3 of Emor. Rabbi Yehuda opened and say, Marov tofcha asher tzafanta liyirecha. How wonderful it is, the thing that you kept for the people who have yirah toward you. Yirah is either fear or respect, something that you don't find in our generation. How wonderful it is, that good things that you kept for us. And it said that God hid the light, the original light that God created. So that light that God created, most of it is hidden. Hidden. Because those light are made of two light. Echad, or ganuz tzadikim, is a light that's called or ganuz. It's not revealed, okay? Not revealed, only to righteous people to the future. Second light, we call it tov. It's the goodness that comes from that or ganuz. That light exist, but when God saw that the future will be mostly wicked people. What is wicked? What is Rasha? Somebody is just thinking about themselves all day long. Say, I cannot let them access to that light. Dangerous for them. Because a person who don't have enough vessel, don't have enough container to draw a certain amount of light, that light can turn into a curse. The same like the Talmud, that say about the difference between the ants is talking to the bat, and we know that the bat is only live at night. So the chicken talking to the bat. The chicken usually very happy in the morning. If you ever had the chicken, you know, he do the kukuriku, right, in the morning. Usually, if you have a chicken which is black chicken, it will make the kukuriku, it will make that noise exactly ba'alot hashachar, if you have one. In the old days, they used to have it instead of alarm clock. They used to have a black chicken in the yard, and then I mean, I grew up in a little bit in a farm, so you have those chicken wake you up, to do Birkot HaShachar, to do all this, to wake up, to do Tikkun Chatzot, and then the white chicken usually do it in the nets, in the unbelievable thing. So it wake you up to do things, to wake you up, to connect, to wake you up. But a wicked person, when you look at the chicken, they say, what will be better on the grill? They don't think that's supposed to wake me up. So, what does death look like in the eyes of the Zohar? Come and behold. When a person is about to die, there is 3 messengers come to see him. He see whatever person see, is things that you cannot see with the physical eyes. Tell us the Zohar in verse 5. And that day, it's the day of judgment. It's a day that God asking from that human being, I want what I give you back. What did God give you? Your soul, neshama. Now, the point, can you return the neshama the same way that it was given to you? Did you add something to the neshama, or you took away something from the neshama? Did you destroy it, or you make it better? If whatever was given to you get dirty, with the dirt of the body, what are you going to say to God? It's not yours. You go to the soul and say, whoa, look at what I did to that soul. But how he died? He raised his eyes, he sees the angel of death. And the angel of death has a sword in his hand. And it's very difficult for the soul to leave the body. Why? Because when we look in the mirror, we don't see the soul, we see the body. So we think the body is me. I'm looking at who is you? This one in the mirror. No, it's not. Just the carrier. That's not you. It's not you. The you cannot see with physical eyes. You can close your eyes and see the you. But the you is not that. So it's difficult for a person to say goodbye to that body when he dies, because he thinks that's him. But not for tzaddikim, like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. What did Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai did? He went to the cave. Because the body stopped. Body, I'm going to put you into the ground. And we're going to eat only curb. Did you ever think about living on curb? It's impossible, by the way. Curb trees, those things that we eat, hopefully we will buy for Rabbi Shimon to eat a little bit, just to practice curb if we can get. I don't think you can get it in this season here. Only in Israel you can get it. Very hard to get it now. But you eat curb tree, and you will see, drink water. How can you live 13 years on that? How can you do that? And then you bury your body in the ground till your neck? How? For 13 years. You basically die for 13 years. The most revelation since Mount Sinai that happened in that cave was Tikkun HaZohar. Tikkun HaZohar is the revelation with no body. That's why Tikkun HaZohar is considered one of the holiest, not the holiest thing exists in this universe. Why? Because there is no body. There is only Gimel Rishonot. So when you touch the Tikkun HaZohar, you're already blessed. You read, blessed. You study, you bless. Doesn't matter what you do with Tikkun HaZohar, you automatically bless. Doesn't matter what you do with Tikkun HaZohar. There is no body to it, only light. So Rabbi Shimon decided, you know what, the angel of death, you want to take this body away? You want to take the soul away from the body? Let me tell you something. I'm going to dig in a hole in the ground, give the body, stay alive, because we're not allowed to kill ourselves, and study. And you know what the result? Tikkun HaZohar. Meaning a book with no body at all. But Moshe went to Mount Sinai, not to compare. Moshe went to Mount Sinai with the body. Moshe Allah el Ar Elokim. Moshe went. Here, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, same soul by the way, buried the body in, so the body will not go to touch the Torah. Only the soul. So what a result? Tikkun HaZohar. I don't know if people I don't think I appreciate enough Tikkun HaZohar, but when I'm saying, I think to myself, oh my God, I have Tikkun HaZohar in the here. When you touch it, you have to shake. Shake. Any miracle you want can be happen with Tikkun HaZohar. That's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, מרגיז במלאכות. ואין דבר קשה לנפש כמו הפרידה שלה מן הגוף. ואדם אינו מת עד שרואה את השכינה. A person will not die until he sees the Shekhinah. That's why when you go to visit somebody in the hospital, you need to know the Shekhinah is in his head, the angel of death is in his feet. So be careful. Don't be in the feet of the person or in the head. Always in the middle, the Zohar said, when you go to visit Bikur Cholim. יוצאת הנפש מן הגוף לקבל השכינה. So the nefesh, the lower part of the soul, go out to welcome the שכינה. אחרי שהנפש יוצא מן הגוף, מי הנפש יכולה להתאבק בשכינה? אלא כסתה פרושו שוטר ומחבל המעניש פרושו לרעה וכסדה, מסרו וכבשו. אחרי שהנפש יצא מן הגוף, הגוף נשאר בלי רוח. So once the nefesh leave the body, and the body now has no spirit in it, you're not allowed to leave that body without bury the body. כתוב, לא תלין נבלתו על העץ, כי קבור תקרבנו ביום ההוא. משום שהמת השוהה בלי קבורה, כ"ד שעות, שהם יום ולילה גורם חולשה בעברי המרכבה. We cannot leave a body more than 24 hours not being buried. That's why in Jerusalem, if you know if somebody died, let's say 11 o'clock at night, they're already burying him at 1 a.m. It's 24 hours. Nobody in Jerusalem, Tzfat, Hebron, Tveria, you're not supposed to leave the body long, because it's Ira Kodesh. And it's the worst part is actually, it's damaging the upper world. Because God wants this person to be reincarnated right away in the same day. So it will be, instead of being punished in burial, he will right away become a baby. And until the body is not being buried properly in the ground, it cannot go in front of God. בנה יכולה להיות בגוף אחר, בגלגול שני, כי הם נותנים גוף אחר לנשמה שיקבר הראשון. And the angel will not give another body until the first body will be buried. Why is the Zohar and Emor talk about death? Talk about Kohen. Kohen cannot even visit cemetery. Why we talk about death? And to my understanding, from what I'm reading here, it doesn't mean that I'm right, but to my understanding. Rabbi Shimon want to prepare us. And what do he prepare us? He tell us, what are you living for? Are you living for life as this physical universe is the main thing? Or this physical universe is a chance for you to prepare for the real universe? We know that the students of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai had to study with him, right? They were poor. They didn't have money. So they asked Rabbi Shimon, we don't know what to say to the wife. We need to pay for school, right? Food. Rabbi Shimon took his right hand. He took the valley. It's a very famous story in the Talmud. And he made the whole valley full with gold coin. He said, based on the law, you all deserve this amount of money. Anything you want. Go and pick up as many gold coins as you want. And they were so excited. He warned them and said, but listen, this universe is a parallel universe to the upper universe. Whatever you take from there to here, you're not going to have it there. So you have to decide what's more important for you. The life that you live within the body right now, or the upper life. Now, if you are a billionaire, don't be upset. If you're a millionaire, don't be upset. Sometimes the portion in the world to come is so tremendous. I mean, Moshe Rabbeinu was rich. Abraham was rich. Yaakov was rich. Isaac was rich. But they were such a tzaddikim that they were able to have so much in the upper world that it was the nourishment come into this physical world. For that reason, Yaakov never want to use his merit in his life. He was worried that maybe he take too much from above because he felt that his life is quite perfect. So some of you are worried that your life is quite perfect. Don't worry. All what you got to do, of course, share more, care more, do more, give more charity, help people. Ask God to give you more money so you can give more. If you have extra money, build mikveh, build synagogue, buy Torot. There is so many things to do. And when somebody do something for you that has to do with mitzvah, pay full money. Don't get it for free. Stay away from free gift. As the portion to mine, the Zohar said, when you get gift that has to do with kedusha, with holiness, and it's for free, stay away from it. Because that means you didn't get the energy of that holiness. So somebody sell you lulav, what you use for Sukkot, and you say it's $180, and you really like it, pay for it. Don't ask any question, pay. The Torah, Torah costs, let's say, $50,000, and you want 100,000. Pay. Pay. If you can pay, pay. It's a test. Everything is a test when it's come to Kedusha. When you want to buy a steak, you can bargain. There's no Kedusha there. There's nothing going on. But let's say you want to dedicate to make Tikkunei Zohar, that will be Tikkunei Zohar with all the explanation that I make in a video in English and blah, 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 to make something like that. So a project like this, let's say, cost, $250,000 or more. If you have the money, you can do that. Do it. This is what the money is okay. So if you just want to have money for the sake of having money or for the sake of recognition, that's a problem. But if you want to have the money and you want to be recognized, so you could give more Sudot Shabbat, so you could give more Zohar, so you could give more this, why not? But you have to be in the place of Kedusha. You have to be the place where the body can be humiliated a little bit. You cannot be in a place where everything is going smooth. It could be that if a person moved to Chicago or to Kentucky, and then he will have $100 million. That will be his test. It doesn't mean if you receive less or more money. It depends. Is that money revealed more the Torah, revealed more the Kabbalah, revealed more Tikkunei Zohar? And it says like this. What's the solution then? What's the solution of transformation? One solution, study. Study of the Torah. The Torah is an aspect or as a force. It's almost like when you put a drop of Torah within your evil behavior starts to change to a good behavior. But if you try to change your evil behavior to become a good behavior, that will turn into an ego. Even in tshuva, even when you make tshuva, there is levels of tshuva. What is the level of tshuva? What is the level of repentance? What's the level of change, transformation? First, you have to stop what you're doing wrong. That's the first. You have to stop. The stop is the first. Second, you have to go to somebody you love or they love you, make a confession. Of course, if you have a rabbi, go to a rabbi, make a confession of what you're doing. Then the third level is to start get disgust with what you did. Disgust, like you sit and say, I cannot believe I did that. And the fourth level is that is not choser al hachet, meaning the person is not going to be tested again, and he can pass that test easier. So what the Zohar said in verse 170. Come and behold, the friend in the night of Shavuot were fixing the jewelry of the bride, which is Malchut. And they're fixing Zeir Anpin to be together. What does that mean? We know that on Shavuot, on the holiday of Shavuot, there is one mikveh that's usually been done after the study Torah all night. You do first the mikveh, of course, the mikveh of Regel, which is important mikveh. If you don't have mikveh, you can do it in the ocean before Shavuot is coming in. And after that, take a place, the holiday begin, we have dinner, then we have study Torah all night, and we'll study Torah all night. That actually fixes your soul to become better for the whole year. Without Shavuot, you don't fix your soul. So Shavuot has been designed to make the soul to come into expression over the body. It's not just to stay awake. You got to stay awake to study. Yes, you have to read a certain section and all this and that. In the morning, before the morning, it's supposed to do another mikveh. And that mikveh is when you take the bride and the groom together for the wedding. In the morning, when it's Tfilah of Musaf. So then, Shachrit, Shavuot, Musaf. And then, when you do all those things, the soul is coming to full expression of some of that level of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai did in the cave. So the effort we make, it's a joke. I mean, Rabbi Shimon did this effort for 13 years. We do it for 6 hours. Can you imagine to do 13 years those Shavuot? That's how we're supposed to do it. But we're not there. To mention last thing, on Thursday night, you should write down to yourself. Think that you know that you sin. It should be only between you and yourself. Nobody should see it. And when you make the fire for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, hopefully you backfire, you take in the note, you take in that paper of the thing that you did wrong, and you put it into the fire. And because at that night, God presenting Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai with all of our name, and he mentioned to Rabbi Shimon a file of all the people who try to be spiritual, who try to study Zohar and Tikkun Zohar, but they're not there yet. And he said, what are we going to do with those people? And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say, can I take them under my wings? And God said, no problem. If you can get involved, they are all yours. And at that night of Bar Yochai, of Lag BaOmer, Poter Adam min adin. He removed the person from being judged. Can you imagine that night? For Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai happened Thursday night. Most people don't even know how powerful it is. They go page by page, they say, Zakai, Zakai, Zakai. And he's mezakeh otanu that we will be able to have a second chance, another year to live, so we can change ourselves. That's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Going back to our subject, Mamlechet Kohanim. So now you understand why so many of the story here is about death, to show you that this world, the physical world, is a test. We are under a lot of tests here. Not that God tried to test us. The test is for you. Because when you're going to receive all the gift, are you going to feel happy or sad? You're not going to feel happy if you receive a gift without earning it. So for that reason, the test has to take place. So you're not going to feel bad. Like if you receive gift, you're now going to say, wow, I went through so many things in my life. I feel I earn it, and I feel happy about the gift. Because if you receive gift that you don't feel you earn, what we call na'im adachsifa, or bread of Shem, lechem bisayon, as the Talmud mentioned, and the Zohar, you're going to feel terrible. As Rav Asher explained, yesh busha, there is a shame in receiving things. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai come to us and say, this week, from today, by the way, from today, because the Omer changed into the Sfira of Hod, which is the week of Chesed. It's called the week of Chesed. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai happened to leave this world exactly in Katnut Aleph, Chitzoniyut Akli, which is considered a tough time, a lot of judgment, but he died exactly in that time. He left the world exactly in this time. So it will be no Chitzoniyut of the Kli, no Katnut affecting the people of Israel. Just understand how powerful is that night. Whoever is in Israel, of course, you have the merit, you have the schut to be there. And whoever is studying that night, you have the schut to study that night. What we're going to do that night, we're going to study, of course, all night. If we're going to have a minyan here, we're going to do nets on Friday morning. Also, to remind you, those of you who celebrate, we're supposed to eat matzah this week. Hopefully you hear the lecture in the right time. So you have to eat matzah between Sunday night till Monday night. So any time at that time you do a motzi in the matzah, it will be wonderful. Thank you so much for listening and have a great, great week. Thank you.